Most of us spend our entire lives running on a treadmill of tasks and obligations. We wake up, we work, we check off boxes, and yet, at the end of the day, we are left with a sense of constant exhaustion and a lingering question. What was the point of all that? Historically, when we look for deeper meaning to these actions, we turn to concepts like sacrifice, or in Sanskrit, yagya. But we usually picture this as an external event. We think of physical rituals performed by specific people in specific settings. The actual mechanism to break this cycle of meaningless action was recorded thousands of years ago, buried in a battlefield dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita serves as a precise psychological diagnosis. It identifies exactly why our daily actions leave us drained and provides a systematic cure to fix it. That specific cure is isolated in Chapter 4 of the text, explored thoroughly in the Yatharth Geeta. This chart shows the viewership data for a single audio lecture on this exact chapter. Since 2017, the audience for this specific breakdown has steadily climbed to nearly 3 million views. Those millions of people are tuning in for the chapter's subtitle, Yagya Karma Spashtikaran. This translates directly to the clarification of sacrificial action. The massive scale of this digital footprint points to a clear reality. People are actively searching for Spashtikaran, a complete clarification to replace the flawed, exhausting definitions of duty we currently live by. The first tool Chapter 4 uses to build this clarification is Brahma Vidya, or the knowledge of the Supreme. It forces us to stop looking at the physical tasks we are doing and instead examine the psychological intent behind them. This diagram contrasts standard sacrifice with Brahma Vidya. True yagya isn't throwing items into a fire. It's an internal process, burning ego with knowledge. Removing selfish desire turns the everyday task into the offering itself, breaking the loop of ego-driven stress entirely. True sacrifice is an internal mechanism of psychological self-mastery. The external physical ritual is secondary to the state of mind you bring to the table. The second tool is Yoga Shastra, or the science of yoga. To understand it, we have to look past the modern Western interpretation of yoga as merely a routine of physical exercise. In the text, Yoga Shastra is presented as a rigorous discipline. It is the practice of highly focused mental concentration, regulating the senses, and executing an action with absolute precision. Krishna weaves these two tools together for Arjuna. Brahma Vidya provides the necessary internal intention, while Yoga Shastra provides the method to execute it. This dual framework was the exact prescription used to cure Arjuna's psychological paralysis on the battlefield. It forced him to perform his duties without being paralyzed by his attachment to the outcome. According to the text, a perfect action does not depend on the physical task itself. It relies on the state of psychological mastery from which you perform that task. This leads to the concept of Manav Dharma Shastra, or human dharma. This science of action applies to the entire human race, regardless of whether a person is a modern professional or a traditional monk. Once a person applies this clarification, the daily grind shifts. Filling out a spreadsheet, enduring a long commute, or navigating a difficult conversation stops being a source of random, draining exhaustion. Those everyday struggles organize into a highly structured system for continuous self-improvement. Chapter 4 does not ask you to abandon your responsibilities or change what you do. It changes how you perceive your work, replacing mechanical habit with deliberate mental focus. This complex science of action hasn't been lost to time. It is actively being decoded and systematically distributed for the public today. The Yatharth Geeta ashram has built a modern infrastructure around this philosophy. They are translating the original text into free books, producing multi-language audio lectures, and developing dedicated mobile applications. Through this digital footprint, the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna remains an active, ongoing conversation for anyone willing to listen. The ultimate clarification of your life's purpose isn't hidden away in a remote mountain ashram. This systematic method for mastering your own actions is waiting right in your pocket.